This film is based on a true story. In the summer of 1993, Bonnie Altmaier was arrested for taking her husband's life. Instead of going to college, Harley, her eldest son, is forced to take care of his 3 younger sisters. 2 years have passed. Harley is being interrogated. The sheriff wants to know what motivated his crime and why he chose not to cover his tracks, even though he could have staged it as an accident. Next, the events take us back in time. Harley replaces parents for his younger sisters, working hard to provide for the family. Amber, the eldest sister, has a date today. Harley doesn't let her go, saying she has to watch the kids tonight while he's at work. However, Amber couldn't care less. What's more, she mocks her brother for lacking a personal life and college prospects due to his job. Harley is forced to leave Jody and Misty alone. As usual, he goes to work at the supermarket. During his shift, Harley notices a pretty woman who knows him. Callie Mercer asks Harley about his sisters. Being married, Callie often gets tired and welcomes the opportunity to go to the store while her husband takes care of the kids. There is an obvious attraction between Callie and Harley, but they both understand they shouldn't cross the line. Harley returned home late. Of course, his younger sisters were already asleep. Harley dozed off but woke up to unfamiliar sounds. Clearly, Amber had brought some guy home. Harley took the gun. Frightened, Amber's suitor hurried to leave, even though the girl begged him to stay. Amber screamed about how much she hated Harley. A conflict arose between the brother and sister. The younger ones watched it through the window. The next morning, Harley and Jody went to visit their mother in prison. Despite everything, they maintained communication with her. Bonnie cried with happiness when she saw her children. Jody hugged the mother, but Harley remained cold. Of course, he cannot forgive his mother for leaving them. Noticing that Harley is wearing his father's jacket, Bonnie barely holds back her emotions. When the mother asked about Misty, Harley replied that she didn't want to come. But Jody said it was Harley who didn't allow her. Jody also mentioned that Amber is dating different guys. The worst thing for Bonnie is the son's coldness. Harley whispered to his mother in a weak voice that she likes being there. Bonnie didn't understand what he was talking about. At some point, Harley simply fainted. Later, Harley talked to Betty Parks, a therapist. Harley shared that he had to grow up early. The mother has no relatives, and his father's family doesn't want to have anything to do with him, so there's no help to expect. Harley is also convinced that the mother worries more about his sisters than him. Harley needs someone to love him. If he found a girl like that, he would definitely marry her. When the therapist asked about his relationship with the father, Harley said that the father was often cruel. Harley didn't want to talk about him anymore. Later, the guy visited Callie, who sometimes helps him by looking after the kids. When Callie offered him to come in, he agreed. Her husband was not at home. While Jody and Esme, Callie's daughter, played, Harley and Callie had a heart-to-heart conversation. Harley lacked someone who could always listen and understand him. At home, Amber as usual found any reason to annoy her brother. But he didn't succumb to provocation. Amber was unhappy that the brother didn't give her money to get a driver's license. Harley tried to explain once again that he doesn't earn that much. Misty said that Callie recently visited and gave him a recipe album as a gift. Amber said it was stupid and continued to express her dissatisfaction. Harley paid no attention to it. He did everything to ensure his sisters lacked nothing, but Amber didn't appreciate it. During his shift at the supermarket, Harley again crossed paths with Callie. A conversation ensued between them. Callie called Harley smart. The guy looked embarrassed. Soon Harley and his sisters were visited by Uncle Mike. The only thing he helps with is occasionally buying beer, but it hardly eases their situation. After looking at the house, Mike advised Harley to do repairs and fix the roof. Amber, looking provocative, came out and asked Mike about his son. Mike said that his son had enrolled in university and has great prospects. When Harley made a joke, Mike took offense and was about to leave. He believes that everyone envies his son's success, so they mock him. This was one of the rare moments when the brother and sister calmly communicated with each other. At night, Mike felt sick again. He couldn't breathe. The guy went to the only place where he could get help and understanding, Callie's house. When she saw the guy in such a state, she was afraid for him. In the morning, Harley woke up right on the street. Returning home, he saw Misty holding the father's gun and henceforth prohibited her from taking it. Misty screamed that she was already an adult and no one could tell her what to do. Seeing worried Jody, Harley asked what happened. Jody held Misty's t-shirt, which she found in the woods. There were red stains on the shirt. In the evening, while Callie together with her daughters was shopping, Harley offered to help her carry the bags to the car. Callie shared that her husband Brad was busy at work, so she couldn't leave the children at home. When the girls got into the car, Callie told Harley that their communication was wrong because she is married and 10 years older than him. Harley in turn said that it didn't bother him. Harley wanted to kiss her, but Callie stopped him, saying that now is not the best time for that. However, Callie hinted that her husband wouldn't be home tonight. The supermarket administrator noticed that Harley hasn't been focused lately and asked him to be more attentive to his work duties. At night, Harley came to Callie. Harley admitted that everything in his life is messed up. Callie asked if she could help with something. Harley hinted at what he really wanted. They kissed, and it escalated into passion. In the morning, Callie woke Harley up and told him it was time to leave because her husband would be back soon. They don't know when they can see each other again, as Harley works 2 jobs. Harley didn't want to go back home. Amber started yelling at him, saying they have problems. The thing is, Amber found $1,000 in Misty's room yesterday. Misty didn't want to give the money. It's their mother's money that she saved to escape from their father. Harley and the sisters could ask their mother how to use the money, but after Harley's seizure, they are not allowed to visit her. Eventually, Amber took the money from her sister. Amber hopes to use the money to get a driver's license, but Harley intends to spend it on paying bills. When Harley took the money, Amber screamed that she hates him. Later, upset, the guy went to Callie and asked why she didn't call him. Callie explained that she's not free in her actions. She has a husband who often drinks but still provides for the family. However, Harley was insistent, wanting Callie to be only with him. When Harley finally calmed down, Callie revealed that she found a note from Jody in her daughter's backpack. The girls often exchange notes, but this time Callie was alarmed by what she read. Harley is only concerned about when he and Callie will meet again. Callie didn't know what to say but didn't object when the guy made a date with her in the old trailer on Wednesday. Only now did Harley read the note, in which Jody shared that Misty sometimes mistreats animals. Meeting with Callie, Harley felt happy. He loves Callie very much and wants to be with her. They agreed to come here every Wednesday. At night while Harley was sleeping, Callie left, which really upset the guy. At his next therapy session, Harley admitted that he considered the father's attitude toward him and his sisters normal. Only now does he realize that no one should go through such things. The guy also indirectly shared that someone in their family experienced unacceptable actions. The therapist guessed it was about Misty. Whenever he saw this, Harley wanted to help them but couldn't. When the therapist began asking various questions about this, Harley wanted to interrupt the session and leave. Near the house, Harley saw some swaggering guy. It was Dylan, Amber's boyfriend. The girl packed her things, intending to leave forever. Jody begged her sister to stay, but Amber wanted to live separately from the family. Harley didn't try to dissuade her, confident that Amber would return soon. Later, Jody told her brother that Amber and Misty had a quarrel today and were talking about him. Harley carefully asked her sister about Misty's t-shirt found in the woods. What Jody shared gave Harley reason to believe that it was not the mother who took their father's life, but Misty. She took the gun and did it. The mother took the blame, hiding the main evidence in the woods. Harley couldn't hold back tears. At the first opportunity, seeking help from Dr. Betty Parks, he arranged a meeting with his mother. However, the conversation didn't go well. Barely restraining emotions, Harley said that he's tired of taking care of his sisters and wants to leave because he owes them nothing. But Bonnie doesn't believe that her son is capable of such a thing. When Harley asked about the father and Misty, Bonnie initially pretended not to understand what was being talked about. But Harley demanded the truth right now, or he would leave forever. With tears in her eyes, Bonnie admitted that she didn't know for sure but had suspicions. Then Harley hinted that he knew the truth. Crying, Bonnie shouted that it was actually Misty who aimed at her because of jealousy. But the father stopped her at the cost of his own life. Harley didn't want to believe it. He's angry at the mother, who hides in prison, putting the responsibility of taking care of the children on him. As the conversation turned into shouts and emotions, security took Harley away. He couldn't come to his senses for a long time after hearing this. As Harley expected, Amber returned. But the girl assured that it was temporary and that she would soon move in with Dylan. Seeing the sisters bruise, Harley asked why she wastes herself on someone like Dylan. In response, Amber as usual insulted her brother. Unable to bear a long separation, Harley came to Callie's house. Only in the car could they talk alone. She asked Harley not to come here when Brad is at home, as it could ruin their marriage and her life. When Harley began to ask where she was last week, Callie said she didn't have to report to him. Unable to hold back tears, Harley confessed his love to her. Callie didn't know what to say and suggested meeting on Wednesday in that same trailer. Harley had problems with his boss due to a lack of hygiene. Indeed, he often forgets to take a shower. Amber showed up at the brothers' workplace, declaring that this time she is leaving forever. She's moving in with Dylan despite his attitude. Harley doesn't understand why Amber wants to repeat the fate of their mother, who endured such things all her life. Surprisingly, this argument had an effect on Amber. Of course, Dylan was furious when Amber refused to be with him, and threw her stuff right in the parking lot. The brother and sister returned home together. In the morning, waking up next to Amber, Harley was horrified and told her to leave. During a session with the therapist, Harley shared the unhealthy relationship in his family. It has been going on for a long time. Harley wants to break this vicious circle but doesn't know how. Dr. Betty Parks explained that he and Amber are not abnormal. In childhood, they were united by fear of their parent, so they reacted in the only way available to them. The doctor also explained to Harley that the sister is not his enemy. She suffers just like he does. Amber feels rejected, so she does it. Harley fell asleep right during the session. Coming home, he felt emptiness. Misty said she heard the argument between him and Amber. She understands her brother like no one else. Misty never visited the mother in prison because she believes it's all her fault. She knew what was happening but turned a blind eye to it. Unable to bear it, Harley said he knows the truth. Misty nearly told Harley that he should have done it, not her. Harley doesn't know what to do now. His life is falling apart, and there is no real help to expect. Seeing Amber with the gun, Harley was crying. She tearfully said she didn't know what else to do. If Harley's gone, there will be no one else to take care of her. Currently, the sheriff asked Harley what his connection was with Callie Mercer. Unable to calm down, Harley said they were neighbors. Harley has the right to make a call, so he called Uncle Mike at the first opportunity and asked him to pass the phone to Jody. Mike doesn't know how to react. What Harley is accused of could lead to the highest punishment. In the end, Mike refused to pass the phone to Jody, and the call ended. The sheriff continued the interrogation. Harley just wants it to end as soon as possible. The jail doesn't seem horrible to him anymore. When asked why he took Callie's life, Harley replied that he loved her, but she didn't want to leave her husband. The sheriff doesn't believe this version. Harley seems more like a quiet good guy than a cold-blooded criminal. Dr. Betty Parks met with Harley, who looked tired and indifferent to everything. The only thing he cares about is the fate of his sisters. Betty knows that Harley surrendered to the police voluntarily, but like the sheriff, she doesn't believe in the truthfulness of his statements. Betty really wants to help the guy, but he himself doesn't want it. In the last scene, we see a prison guard taking Harley back to his cell. Earlier, Jody wrote a letter to her brother, hoping he would return soon. Now she and her sisters are in Mike's care. As for Harley, he'll never get out. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss more exciting new products. Also, the authors will be pleased if you leave your opinion in the comments.